Hey, what's up? What's good? It's your kid Tino back at you again with another episode of Black Tea Party. So let's get into it. Alright, so hopefully 2 videos will be dropping today. I know for sure 2. There might be 3, but we'll just see how my other little phone is doing and then make the decision from there. So in today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about a subject I've seen be touched on, and I'm not going to talk about it as eloquently as some people have because these are my chaotic thoughts. If you want to debate about it more in the comments, I will come with better facts and standpoints. But right now, these are my opinions and my opinions only, so don't take it too personally. So today I want to talk about how I feel Black people are too welcoming online, okay? With the age of the internet, it's just been crazy watching it bloom, and especially TikTok, since TikTok, like, I know TikTok's been around for a bit, but like watching it seriously bloom and in COVID and just seeing like how trend after trend and viral video after viral video of specifically Black content creators were taken by more likely than not, but also other races too, more likely than not white creators, and then blown out of proportion. I always will think about this moment, like when the Renegade dance was done by those 2 girls, and all of a sudden Addison Rae is doing the Renegade on what show was that? Was that Good Morning America? You know, Addison Rae doing the Renegade not that great, I might add, on Good Morning America. And all these people were like, oh, it's so good, they deserve to be up here, but what about the creators of that dance? You know, they're still doing all right, but like they should have been a lot more successful. And it makes me think a lot about how Black culture time and time and again is invaded, repurposed, gentrified, and basically made socially acceptable, which we all know is white. And if that's uncomfortable for you to hear, you might as well just go ahead and log off now. I personally will not understand when a white creator does a little dance, maybe says the right thing about not liking the current administration or not liking racist and like this, that, and the third, and all of a sudden there's Black people in the comments like, you can come to the cookout. The cookout? Why? Because they had an opinion that is morally correct? That is an opinion that all of us should hold, and we need to start rewarding small behavior with grand gestures, right? I think, yes, I know that online, like, this is a joke, like, people say, this is a joke, but, like, there's some truth in all jokes, and I think, like, this reflects a lot in our society, too. Like, with clothing, you know, like, right now, the era of streetwear, even though I will say, like, streetwear definitely has some Asian influences in it, the streetwear in America specifically is definitely more tailored around hip-hop, R&B, and it's Black culture, you know, like the sweatpants, a little bit of glitter, this and that, the oversized jeans and oversized shirt. That was a big thing in the 90s for a lot of big hip-hop artists, and now that's come back, and we see more and more of other cultures adapting this and then transforming it into something else. One that comes to mind right now is Jinko, and like, while I will say I like Jinko jeans, if you ever see this, whoever runs Jinko, don't get on me. I will probably buy some Jinkos, like, but you know, those are marketed as skater pants when they directly reflect Black culture's influence on even things like the skating industry. Lil Wayne was a big influence on the skating industry in the early 2000s, you know? And I just think like is these little things. Like I think little things like saying all gingers are black, you know, definitely give the air of like, oh, we're not serious about ourselves, so like that, like black people won't mind if we just take a little bit more and a little bit more. And I fear it will come with like an erasure. Like I think black people will continue to create, navigate, and lead in certain aspects of society, especially when it comes to like food, clothes, hair, things of that nature. But how long are we allowing other companies to rip that off, right? Or how long are we allowing white content creators to not give credit for like what may have been started by a black content creator? And I'm not saying that everyone does this, right? Like, you know, dance creds, inspiration, those things are like a thing. But I also think even though the TikTok algorithm specifically will boost you if you fit the script, if you're just a little bit off and you don't, like, people still will take that idea. And I understand there's like a bunch of like fluctuations, and I'm not talking about little things. Like I'm not talking about like, eating in the car or a vlog, a day in my life. Like those are just generally videos. I'm talking about when someone has an original thought and they do not receive and it's original thought that's going to go with the trend. It's not like an original thought that like, oh, this is going to live until the end of time. Like this is an original thought that is going to go with the trend. Mostly dances, skits, some skits, things of that nature are going to like go for a couple of weeks and then everyone's going to forget about. I think we need to just make sure that we're making space and being careful. Not me, but well, everyone, like when we're finding these kinds of contents this kind of content that we like, that we're giving credit where credit is due. Does that make sense? You following me? Because I just feel like it does, like things like that definitely reflect within like society and economics. Like it may seem small, but like everything has like the butterfly effect, right? The way we handle social media reflects our small circles, and which spreads out into like larger circles of communities. And then it could be in politics, you know? Like I think people of color, specifically black people, need to tighten up on how we respond to content we like online, right? And like what we blow up, right? We need to make sure that we're pushing forward content creators who not just because they look like us, like push forward good content, but like also pushing forward content that really like actually relates and is not just a funny little video for this point in time. And now all of a sudden the world's like, oh look, they're opening the doors again to let us all run in and steal a bunch of ideas before they close it back up, you know? Let me see, there was something else I was gonna say. And I do believe that everyone is in the best of intention most of the time when they do these things, but it's really like kind of scary too to look into comments on like certain posts and see the way others feel about us, and knowing that like so many people are just opening that door to those same people at any moment in time, right? And I think here's a big example of how this can reflect, right? So I'm sure a lot of y'all know about Jasmine Crockett. She's currently running for U.S. Senate, and so she did a kind of campaign ad with a creator I follow called Cure for Paranoia. He's a black, they, I believe, is a black rapper, and they do a lot of like rap with about social justice. And they had a cameo together, like a little collab. It was super cool. And in those comments, someone brought up, I can't even remember the guy's name, but like some white guy is also running for the same seat as her, as a Democratic as a Democratic representative. Yeah, I think that's the right word. As a Democratic representative. So in all reality, they supposedly should share most of the same views, be fighting for the same things, and apparently there's another seat that he could be running for that would be more useful than the seat that she's running for. And people were in the comments saying, oh, well, he's more likely to win, and like it followed the trend of like, oh, well, why? And it's like, well, you know why. And basically, like, people are already, even though she's making waves in her community and fighting the good fight, yes, she has some funny moments, you know, but it catches the people's attention, and then, but she knows her stuff. They're still rooting for the white guy because they feel like that is the more obtainable position to hold. And why is that? And I feel like that's because at too many points in time, us as Black people are willing to accept that, like, well, they don't really want us there, so let's try to find the next best thing. And I find it interesting how that next best thing is still always a white man instead of like someone else, anyone else. I'll be waiting. Like, but yeah, like, I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, like, it's gotten to a point where I think it's not that we need to be mean, and like, yes, the internet's the internet. At the end of the day, the point is to go on there, have a good time, you know, keep your negative thoughts to yourself and just vibe. But like, does that mean every time someone that doesn't look like you appreciates the culture, you have to immediately be like, oh, come over here, you're one of us now? No, we gotta stop telling people that. Like, I don't know, like, for me, it sits in my stomach wrong, you know? And I don't know, that's pretty much it. I know there's a lot of filler words in this, but I don't know. It's okay to like content. It's okay to like people that don't look like you. Oh, what I was gonna say in the beginning, I might actually chop this around, is Addison Rae. And I noticed something too, like, so you know how like there's like a thing, well, there's like some things online where people be talking about like, you need to watch your little brother's accounts because like he could be feeding into red pill content. Watch your little sisters too. Like, I feel like the saddest thing for me, like, was one of the saddest things. I have a lot of sad moments. One of the saddest things for me, right before I moved out to Colorado, you know, I was like getting my little cousins, they had just all gotten phones and stuff. And so like, of course, they want to follow you on all your social media and stuff. And one of my younger female cousins, I'm saying that because it's related to the story, not because whatever, but her like, I got her Snapchat, and her avatar on Snapchat was white, you know, and I don't know if it was directly related to this, but I do remember having conversations with her about like her skin color and just like telling her like she's beautiful, she's pretty, because Black really is beautiful. Like, I think it is the warmest color, you know, like I love looking at all the beautiful Black people walking around, especially when the skin's glowing, body tea, you know, it'd be like, it's wonderful to me. Like, I recently joined a group that is all Black people, and it is just like, it's just so lovely to see everyone in their different like phases, and how like we all look different, but we all just radiate and glow, you know, like it's pure beauty. And I remember talking to her about like her skin color and like her hair and stuff, and like, you know, just like reminding her and like trying to instill the thought of like you are pretty just the way you are, you know. And like she like mentioned that like her skin was ugly, you know, I don't know if she said those exact words, but like it was pretty much that. And you know, like it just makes me so sad. Like that is still something that like our younger girls look at. So like also too, if anything, like do it for the younger generation. Like watch Black people doing Black things, you know, support Black businesses, support Black creators, you know, when they're doing the right things. You know, our younger generation is still growing up in a phase where they don't always appreciate themselves for what they are. Like regardless of what anyone says, even some of y'all that are a little far gone, like you still have to recognize that a lot of us are starting at a disadvantage. And when we look around and we see the people in places that we want to be, they are white. And therefore it can create a lot of feelings within the younger generation to still see this and be like, I want to have these things. And in order to attain those things, they feel like they have to basically be white. You know, like I know a lot of people don't want to believe it's that deep, but like that's that deep, you know. Like they did the baby doll test. The baby doll test still stands, right? I luckily grew up in a household where, you know, no one really ever said anything. Like my family was definitely obsessed with hair color or hair texture and skin color. Maybe not as much skin color, but definitely like I had like a hair texture kind of family, like good hair, bad hair kind of family. And that was disheartening to like grow up in. But like in my own household, there was never like, oh, your hair this. There was more like regrets of being like, I should have got better products. But like there was never like, oh, your hair is this and your skin is that. You know, everyone is just very Black and proud to be Black. And like my mother is of a darker skin color and like I love her to death. Like her skin is beautiful. And then like my dad, he's got more of a skin color like mine, probably a little bit lighter, you know. He grew up hearing a lot of the good hair, bad hair stuff. But like, you know, like he's still like, and it wasn't really instilled that I was really good looking, but it also was never instilled that I was ugly. Like it was like, you are just who you are. And then that's just the basics, you know? And I think when we push out content and make sure that like the creators of content get their rightful due, then we let the world know that like you being who you are and having the skin color you have actually does not stop you back. It stop you at all. It makes you the coolest you've ever been, you know. And that goes for anyone, but specifically for Black people. And if like smaller, like if you're a teenager watching this or like a middle schooler, like you're cool, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Like you're awesome. Like you look great, you know. And like it only gets better. Like I'm telling you, I'm ready for 30. It's gonna be great. So like just hold strong in that and like never feel like because, oh, these are the people that make money off of this, or these are people that make the most money off of this, that's what you have to attain to be. Attain to be you. And support those that look like you, and then you'll realize, guess what? They can make the same amount of money too. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say about that. Sorry, I got into a little change. I almost got a little bit emotional, you know? But it's real. Like, I feel like, you know, like I really hate that for us sometimes, and for like some of the younger generation, you know. And like when I think about like having a conversation like that, even when I was like close to a child myself, like it's just like very sad that no one was really reinstilling that. And the comments about you being pretty or looking, you know, or just not even like, it's not even about reinforcing like pretty or not, because I feel like that can low-key give kids a complex. But it's just being like, you are who you are, and like however you are is great, you know, no matter how it's perceived by the outside world. Like it has to be right within you, and that starts within the family ecosystem. And that kind of starts with like Black people not being too welcoming to everything else, and not being like, oh, like she looks so good and it's like the most European white woman I've ever seen in my life, you know. Like I don't know. So anyway, I'm gonna get off this topic before I go down another rabbit hole. And like I said, this is no disrespect to anyone. I truly love everybody. Like, well, to whatever extent, unless you're a terrible person, then I don't love you. But I truly believe that, you know, as a human living a human experience, the skin color, I wish it wasn't a big deal, but unfortunately the human experience we're living, it is. And a reinforcement of, a positive reinforcement that all skin color is good skin color is well needed. And I think that starts by who we support, what we do, how we talk to each other. Okay, so I hope you all have a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll be wearing the same fit, by the way, so whatever.